Do you feel like you missed out on this Solana move towards the upside of around 150%? Well, guys, I think you're going to have an opportunity to perhaps be buying back down under $15. If you want to find out more, then hit the like button. Let's get into today's video. So yesterday I watched this incredible Bitcoin video from CTO Larson, which is very fascinating and definitely worth a view. And he identified that the Bitcoin price not meeting levels up here is something very, very sinister indeed. He identified that we could be in a Wyckoff accumulation for Bitcoin, which means in the shorter term, we could be about to see Bitcoin plunge towards the downside. Richard Wyckoff was an early pioneer in the US stock market, and he identified that the big banks were playing a game, moving the price to manipulate people's emotion in order to make the biggest profit. And he came up with both patterns for the top of the market and for the bottom of the market. And this is credit to the CTO Larson channel. This is his diagram. And what you can see he has identified is because we didn't reach this high area up here, we would have anticipated normally for it to reach at least that same level, but it hasn't. It's turned around and started to move towards the downside. And with the core inflation rates being discussed upon tomorrow by the Federal Reserve, we could well be about to see another crippling piece of news for crypto in a point of the market where Bitcoin is literally hanging on. And you're probably asking, why are we talking about Bitcoin? I thought this was a Solana video. Well, look at what's happened in Bitcoin. Look at the shape of this move, guys. And then we'll go and look at Solana. And if we look into Solana, you can see that pretty much exactly the same has happened. But the problem is for Solana, while Bitcoin could fall 30-40%, Solana could fall significantly further because its market cap is that much smaller. So before we identify the game plan of where we're looking to buy Solana, well, let's look into this particular pattern. Right now we're clinging on here to an area of support that doesn't really exist. We would expect to come down further, and I think the core inflation news will be the catalyst that sees us starting to dip in towards this area. People will start to think that we're about to bounce in this zone. We won't really do that potentially, and we'll drop down further. And this, crucially, is a low that is below this previous low. That's in order to scare everyone out of the market, okay? Everyone then sells and dumps their money back into the market, which makes for a hugely discounted Bitcoin price, and that will be the bottom of the crypto market. If that does happen, then we're going to start to see another price build towards the upside. Here you can see the rapid moves up and down to shake people out, give absolute confusion to everyone's decision making. You'll then see the price starting to rally, eventually breaking beyond these highs, putting in a nice double bottom pattern like this, and then we're going to potentially move and blow up into the next bull market. And this doesn't really happen until sort of May time. Now that's obviously just a theory. It doesn't have to play out 100% exact. It's just an idea. But if it does happen, you're going to see all of the cryptos that have rallied very hard recently, Solana being one of them, falling towards the downside. And if we look at Solana in the shorter term, some interesting things are showing on this chart. Now you can see that we are still in this downtrend for Solana, okay? Because of this massive sell-off from the FTX debacle, Solana never really managed to get back up higher, despite seeing like 150% returns, or 180% at one point if you'd sold just a few days ago. But what we're seeing happening right now is Solana coming back into this area. Now, as we look at this area, we can see that we have established in an area of a buy zone. Now, you're probably wondering, well, yeah, we said we would fall lower. That's potentially true. I think this does all play out on the CPI news. If the inflation news indicates to us that the interest rates are going to have to increase, we're going to see the US dollar breaking this trend line and pushing higher. At this point, we're going to see crypto pushing lower. And the reason for that, guys, is this was the crypto bear market as the US dollar went up. And the US dollar went up because interest rates went up. Interest rates are brought in to try and stop inflation. So if tomorrow we found out that the inflation rates are still extremely high, then we know that the next Fed meeting, they're going to announce further interest rate hikes, which will further increase the price of the dollar and will further hinder crypto's development and drop crypto further. So what we need basically to confirm this is a catalyst that's going to bring about a drop in crypto, potentially like this, okay? Because that is going to be maximum fear. Everyone who's been running back in and buying the market right now with too much money that they can't afford to lose is going to get caught in potentially a trap. They're then going to panic sell, and then that's going to crush the price further. It's not guaranteed, but it's also not a bad thing. And why is it not a bad thing? Well, guys, if it falls down to here, we have the opportunity to buy this market. Now, in my Telegram group, which is linked down below in the description, every day people are asking me, will I get a chance to buy Solana back at $15? Will I get a chance to do this? But I guarantee that those people who are asking that question will not buy Solana if it returns to that price, because they didn't buy it before. They're not going to do it again. They're going to get the same fear mentality they got before. But if we can identify a potential play in the market, then we have a potential to be able to make smart decisions when the opportunity is presented to us. So what I'm saying is, if we do get a Solana push towards the downside, then we have another opportunity to be able to fill a bag of Solana here. So if you were buying here before, then good for you, but you have another opportunity potentially to buy in this area down here, before we then see the market start to pick up again, and then heading into a bull market where, you know, the price of Solana will go insane if this does play out. And you can see the dates on this. You're looking into sort of May, June time for something like this to play out. That's just a theory on what might happen. Who knows though, because the inflation rates might have been cut dramatically, in which case we could see a pump, we could see Solana breaking out of this, and then, you know, breaking towards the upside. But realistically, I think it's worth waiting 24 to 48 hours to find out what this result is. Because if this news comes out and shakes the market enough, then we are going to see a big old dump towards the downside in Solana and the rest of the crypto market. But ultimately, no matter which of these two scenarios plays out, we'd still have the same upside potential. What you've got to ask yourself is Solana still what it was? Is Solana still what it was to drive the price up to here? Solana, last time we saw this, did 974%. Is Solana still that token? Yes. Does it still have the same team? Its team may have shrunk down because obviously in bear markets, but they tend to sort of streamline their teams. They get rid of people who are perhaps dragging their heels a bit, not really adding so much value. So in my opinion, whether we take scenario A, which is where the inflation rates are actually lower than we expect, or level B, in which case we're going to see a further bottom and consolidation to the market, which potentially could well be on the cards and probably isn't what everyone's expecting. If we're seeing something like that, then we could play around in this area for a bit before moving higher. That would take us towards the autumn of this year. But you're then going to look at a continuation, at least, the very least, to all-time highs. But we know Solana can survive in this area down here, then we're going to see significantly more than all-time highs. And the reason for that is the network effect. Every time we see a bull market, Bitcoin gets bigger and bigger, so does crypto in general. The reason for that is everyone who missed out on crypto before has heard about their friends making tons of money in the last bull market, and they want to know more. So each time, more and more people will get involved in crypto, more and more people are starting to realize that it's here to stay and will continue into the future, at least for the next few years. Who knows exactly what's around the corner. This means that everything surviving the bear market will exponentially get bigger in the bull market. If we were to take a Fibonacci retracement from the swing high and drop it down to this swing low, then you're looking at 1.618 over $414. Okay, so from current prices, be a 19x. When we look at this for Bitcoin, we would see a drop lower than this previous low for Bitcoin. I actually don't think Solana will see such a similar pattern, and that is because of this. This was FTX. FTX basically had a bigger impact on Solana than it did on pretty much any other crypto, because FTX was one of the biggest investors in Solana in the early days. So that meant that when FTX went under, it dragged Solana under very, very hard. And Solana took a bigger hit here than pretty much any other crypto. And then this was a drop below that area to fake everyone out thinking that they're going to go to zero. So perhaps for Solana, we've already seen this big drop. We could potentially see a retrace back in towards this zone down here, but it wouldn't surprise me if we are actually putting in a higher low for Solana, which would obviously be more positive. So where am I looking to accumulate Solana if this all plays out? We can put a nice box down here, guys. And I put this box on Solana because it's very, very easy to know that I'm going to buy this area. Okay, so if it falls into here, I've got it written there. I know what to do. The emotions don't take over. I know exactly what I'm going to do. So I can buy in this zone. In the shorter term, we can see Solana doing something interesting here. We've put in a top up here. Currently, right now, we are finding resistance. Previous lines of support create resistance, but it all basically hangs on the news. I think if the news is against what we want, Solana will return probably into this box quite quickly, and then we got a good opportunity being able to buy lower down. And yes, if I buy, let's say at $15 and it falls to like $10, I'm not going to be annoyed at myself. All I've got to do is maybe just buy a little bit more. You don't have to go and pump all of your money into a particular crypto. I'm not telling you to pump your money into any crypto, of course. Go and do your own research. But everyone asking when to buy this, how to buy this, When's going to get a better opportunity? This potentially could be the best opportunity that we have seen so far. And if you're really still uncertain, then make sure you're getting in that Telegram, guys, because everyone's talking about what's going on in the markets right now, sharing information like this on a daily basis. Let me know down below in the comments whether you think Solana is also going to be dragged down with this. Do you think Bitcoin is going to be part of this Wyckoff accumulation? I want you to know that this is not guaranteed. Obviously, this Wyckoff thing could play out, doesn't have to play out. This CPI meeting tomorrow, so let's see how that plays out first, and then we have our answer on what really we can start to expect. And now we've potentially got the playbook for the bulls and we can follow along with them, then we can make money when the markets are moving down as well as up, in which case then we need to be able to short the market, and I recommend using a tool like Fairdesk, link down below in the description. You'll get up to a $600 bonus when you sign up, and you'll be able to short the market. Obviously be very cautious about using money that you can't afford to lose, and if you're an inexperienced trader, also perhaps staying away from leverage is the best bet. But if you're inexperienced, you can come across and copy trade, which means you can copy experienced traders in the market making money when they do with just a few clicks of the button. Again, nothing is guaranteed, so obviously be cautious of the risks involved with that. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the like button. If you want to get into my Telegram, link down below, absolutely free, guys. Hit subscribe, and I will see you in the very next video. Bye bye.